Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. In this session, I will demonstrate how to connect Google Sheets with BoldSign to automate signature requests. I will also show you how to automatically track those contracts without writing a single line of code. If you spend a lot of time manually sending contracts and tracking their status, this workflow will help you save time and reduce errors. Let's get started. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Carolyn Dolly and I am part of the BoldSign team. Today, I will guide you through this webinar. Let me outline what we will cover in today's session. First, I will provide a brief overview of BoldSign and Zapier so you understand the tools we will use. Next, I will walk you through a live demo, showing you step by step how to connect BoldSign with Google Sheets using Zapier. You will see the process in real time, making it easy to follow. Finally, we will have a Q&A session where the BoldSign team will answer any questions you have about the process or the tools. That's the plan for today. Let's start with the overview of BoldSign and Zapier. BoldSign is an e-signature solution designed to help you send, sign, and manage legally binding contracts securely and efficiently. Zapier, on the other hand, is a no-code automation tool that connects multiple applications to create automated workflows. By combining BoldSign and Zapier, you can automate your contract signing processes, saving time and reducing manual effort. Now let's jump into the demo session for the day. Imagine I'm running a small consulting business. For every new client I bring in, I need to send out a contract and get it signed. To manage this, I maintain everything in a Google Sheet, which you can see on my screen now. I've already added few clients here, and for each of them, I have sent out signature request and tracked the details in the sheet. This is the manual process I am following, and I'll explain how I do it. Now let's take the last client from my spreadsheet as an example. I already have a predefined template saved in BoldSign. So I open my account, go to the template and open it. Then I manually copy the client details from the spreadsheet and paste them into the BoldSign template. Next, I move to the configure page where I need to fill in the amount field. I copy it from the spreadsheet again, paste it there, and send out the contract for signing. Once I send it, I go to the My Documents section, copy the document ID and paste it back into my spreadsheet. Then I update the status to sent. After that, I keep following up with the client until they sign, and once they complete the signature, I come back here and mark it as completed. Now just think about how difficult this is for a single client. If I had to repeat the same process for 50 or even 100 clients in a single day, you can imagine how time consuming it would become. That's why we are going to automate this entire workflow and make it much easier. For automation, we'll be using Zapier. I've broken the process down step by step. First, when a client details are added, their signature request should automatically go out. That's the part we'll automate first. Then we look at the following steps one by one. Now let's move into Zapier and create the Zap we need for this. I've come to the Zapier page and clicked on Create Zap. This opens up the Zapier Designer page. The first thing I do here is rename my Zap to Client Management, just to keep things clear and organized. On the designer page, you can see two sections, trigger and action. The trigger is what starts the automation and the action is the result that follows. In our case, the idea is that whenever a new client is added to the spreadsheet, a signature request should automatically be sent through BoldSign. So for the trigger, I select Google Sheets. Then under the trigger event, I choose new row because that means whenever a new row is added in the spreadsheet, it should kick off the process. Next, I connect the Google account where my sheet is maintained. Once that's done, we can move ahead to the configuration step. Now we need to tell Zapier exactly which spreadsheet should trigger the action. So I select the particular spreadsheet here and then choose which sheet inside it. For example, sheet 1. Once that's set, everything looks good. So I run a quick test to check if the setup is working properly. Zapier fetches the last 3 rows from my spreadsheet and I can select one of them to continue. Next comes the action section. Here I select BoldSign because that's where the contract will actually be sent from. The process is simple. From a template, a new document gets created and sent. So I choose that option in the event action. Then I connect the BoldSign account where my template is saved. Moving on to the configuration step, I pick the exact template I want to use and then the field mapping section opens up. Here I map the recipient name field to the client name in the sheet, the recipient email field to the client's email, and the amount field to the contract amount in the sheet. Once that's done, I continue. For now, I'll skip the test and go ahead and publish this Zap. That means the Zap is now live. From now on, whenever a new row is added in the spreadsheet, a signature request will automatically be triggered. Let's see how it works. I'll add a new client named Steve with his name, email, service type, and amount. As soon as I save it and then check BoldSign, we can see that the signature request has already gone out for Steve. So the sending part has now been automated. But if you notice in my spreadsheet, I still have 2 extra columns, document ID and status. Earlier, I was updating these manually. Now let's automate that as well. For this, I'll go back to the Zap I just created, switch it to edit mode and add a third action step. This time I choose Google Sheets as the app. And the action is update row. Since my Google account is already connected, it gets linked automatically. In the configuration step, I select the right drive, the same spreadsheet, and the same sheet. This way the updates go to the correct place. Now in the setup, I need to update the row ID. For this, I select custom and then choose the row ID from the triggered spreadsheet. Then we only need to update 2 fields. One is the document ID and the other is the status. So I select the document ID from the spreadsheet in the document ID column and then I type the static value sent in the status. This means that as soon as the signature request is sent, the sheet will be updated automatically. Again, I skip the test and publish it directly. I save this as version 2. Now let's see this in action. I'll add a new client called Kathy with her details in the spreadsheet. Once I save it, BoldSign immediately triggers a signature request, and when I check the spreadsheet, the document ID and status are already updated to sent. So now both sending the contract and updating the sheets are automated. There is still one more manual step left. After a client signs the contract, I still have to manually track the completion in the sheet. To handle that, I'll need to create a new Zap because this part can't be done within the same Zap. Now let's move on to creating a new Zap in Zapier. I click on Create Zap and rename this one as Client Tracking. For this Zap, the app will be BoldSign and the trigger event will be document completed. That means the Zap will only trigger when a document has been completed. Since my BoldSign account is already connected, Zapier links it automatically. I run a quick test to confirm the trigger and it successfully pulls a completed document. I select that and move to the action section. Here the first action app will be Google Sheets. The action event I choose is lookup spreadsheet row because Zapier first needs to find which row in the sheet should be updated before making any changes. In the configuration, I select my Google Drive, the spreadsheet and the correct sheet. For the lookup column, I select document ID because that's how the row will be matched. For the lookup value, I pull the document ID from BoldSign. Once that's it, I skip the test and continue. Next, I add another action step, again with Google Sheets. This time the action event is update spreadsheet row. I connect my Google Drive and choose the same spreadsheet and sheet. For the row ID, I map it from the lookup step so Zapier knows exactly which row to update. Then for the status field, I map it to BoldSign's completed value. Once that's done, I skip the test again and publish this zap. Now the setup is complete and both the zaps are live. Let's see it in action. I add a new client, Matthew, into the spreadsheet with his name, email, service type, and contract amount. As soon as I save it, a signature request is triggered in BoldSign and the spreadsheet is updated with the document ID and status as sent. Now I move to the Matthew signer email, open the contract, fill in the required fields and complete the signing process. Once done, I come back to the spreadsheet and we can see the status has automatically changed to completed. So now the entire workflow has been updated and automated, from sending the contract to updating the sheet to tracking when the contract is completed, no matter how many clients I add in a day. The process runs automatically without any manual intervention. And the best part is we have done all of this without writing a single line of code. That brings us to the end of today's demo. We would love to stay connected with you after the session. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube by searching for BoldSign. We regularly share product updates, tutorials, and tips to make your e-signature workflows easier. Please follow us and join our community. Thank you so much for attending today's session. I hope this gave you a clear understanding of how BoldSign and Zapier can work with Google Sheets to automate your contract signing process. If you have any questions, please share them in the chat now, and the BoldSign team will be happy to answer. Thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in our future webinars.